Alright, welcome back, Brush Monkeys. And this week we are continuing with the Grenadier 1980 and 83 Grenadier Wizards box sets. With this guy, he is listed as a magic user in the 1980 box set and as a magician in the 83 box set. And he's probably one of the more stereotypically wizardish looking guys. He's got a staff with a skull on the end of it, long robes. He's got a hat with a lot of like moons and stars and things on there, little pointy hat, long beard. You know, he looks like a magician. So I've got his color scheme all planned out and everything, so I'm going to go ahead and pause here and get his paints together, and then we'll get started on them. Alright, see you soon. Alright, Brush Monkeys, we're back. I've picked out all the colors that I need for this guy and made some progress on him. His skin is being done in Gulliman Flesh, and I've already got his skin done. His beard is going to be Apothecary White, so of course we've got to base him in matte white and then wash it in the Apothecary White. His robes are going to be done, or are done rather, in Ultramarine Blue, which came out looking really nice. The little symbols on his hat I'm going to base in Averland Sunset and then highlight in Flash Gets Yellow, so they'll be nice and bright and pop out. His staff is going to be Wildwood with a steel skull on the end there. And then I got out the Wraithbone and Snakebite leather for his belt and belt pouch here. You can see he's got a little rope belt and belt pouch. And as you can see, I've already got the skin and the robes done, and he's already looking pretty good. I mean, that Gulliman Flesh really looks good on these old Grenadier sculpts. Really pretty happy with how that turned out. And then, of course, his base is going to be Dark Angel's green with a dry brush of Niblet green and my usual heavy black green for the base band. So he's looking pretty good. Obviously, the Ultramarine Blue is still wet a little bit, so I'm going to let that dry, and then we'll come back and do some other little bits of it. But the largest parts of him are done. I mean, the skin and the robes, like, he's already like 90%. I'm going to probably do his hair next, and maybe the leather bits and well, I'm going to do his hair and base the leather part at least, and then we'll go from there, kind of see how he looks. Alright, so I'm going to take a little break, and then I'll see you in a little bit. Bye. Alright, as you can see, I've made some more progress on our guy here. I've got his beard and hair all based in white. I got his staff painted. I got the Wildwood painted on his leathers here. And I got this little thing at the bottom of his robe. I thought it was a part of his robe, but it turns out it's like a little rock on the base that he's standing on. So I went ahead and painted that with Basilicanum Gray. And I based all the little emblems on his hat here. So now I'm going to go in with the... excuse me, I'm going to go in with the Flash Gets Yellow and highlight those emblems on his hat and do the Apothecary White on his beard and the Snakebite leather on his belt and belt pouch. And then I'm going to take a break and let those contrast paints dry, and then we'll come back and take a look at them. Okay. Alright, see you soon. Alright, I've made some more progress on our guy here. I've got the Apothecary White painted on his beard. I've got his leathers painted, and they're looking really good. Highlighted all the little emblems on his hat, so they're all popping. They look good. Pretty happy with how that turned out. And even went ahead and painted the end of his staff. Now, because he's got that skull on the end of his staff, and it's not... I mean, it shows a little bit, but it's kind of hard to see from a distance. It just kind of looks like a knob on the end of his staff, see? So I think I'm probably going to dry brush that skull with just a little bit of Necron compound. Give it a little light dry brush here. Once everything dries. And then the only thing left to do on this guy is the base. So I'll probably go ahead and dry brush the skull and paint the base here, and then we'll come back and check in one more time before I dry brush the base with the Niblet green and paint the base band, and then you'll see him when he's all done. So you got one more check-in before he's all completely finished. But he's coming out pretty well. I really like how he's turning out. Oddly enough, I realized as I was painting this guy that this is actually the same color scheme he had originally when I painted him back in 1980. I just used enamel paints, and it looked really god-awful horrible. And so I'm kind of glad to see that this paint job kind of pays homage to the original paint job, while at the same time representing a matured skill set in my painting. So this is why I wholeheartedly recommend stripping and painting your old figures. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here and let those contrast paints and everything dry, and then when we come back, I'll do the base and dry brush the skull, and then we'll take a look at them. Alright, see you soon. Alright, as you can see, I've got his base painted and his skull staff topper there dry brushed, and he's looking pretty good. I really like how this guy's turning out. So all that's left to do now is dry brush the base with the Niblet green and paint the base band with the heavy black green. I just kind of got it based with the Dark Angels green contrast. So I'm going to go ahead and pause and do that, get all that done, and the next time you see this guy, he's going to be completely finished. Alright, so I'm going to pause here and go finish this guy up. See you soon. Bye. And there he goes, ladies and gentlemen, our finished magic user / magician. The Grenadier Magic Users box set. I think he looks really good. I added some tufts onto his base to kind of give it a little more interest. There wasn't a whole lot going on with his base. But yeah, I think he looks really good. I'm pretty happy with how he turned out. And so I'm going to go ahead and call this guy done. Thanks for watching. Next week we will continue on with another of the wizards. And so I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hey Brush Monkeys, Tom from Flying Monkey Studios here. If you like what you see, click like down below. If you want to be notified when new videos come out, click subscribe. And in the meantime, if you want to see how to add one of the miniatures that we've painted on this channel to your own collection, check out our Instagram, Tumblr, and Patreon sites. If you want to support us in doing what we do, check out my Patreon site, check out my merch store at storefrontier.com/flymonkeystudios. You can get t-shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, all kinds of stuff there. Go check that out. And in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.